every day. It's the best traditional culture and entertainment radio online. You can download from Google Player or App Store. Google Radio, the voice of future.
Yeah, happy Sunday, IT.
Thank you, Simon.
You're welcome again to our talk show today. It's be wonderful. We just need to talk about the immigration crisis in Africa because as you see a lot what's going on now in South Africa, especially the South Africa rejected any immigrant from Africa, let them back to their home. So this story affected all of us as African. So I just need to know about your thought, what you see now, what is going on in South Africa. Go ahead.
Thank you, Simon, and thank you to all your listeners for having me once again on your show. In relation to the immigration crisis, it's actually happening all over the world. A lot of countries are speaking up about immigration crisis in their countries. South Africa is no different from another country. They are also a sovereign state, and they are allowed to govern their economy, their country, their politics as they see fit. So whatever action they choose to take, I think they are well within their rights to do so. I think this whole issue is more to do with governance than anything else. It's about who is in charge and who is making the decision. So for individual South Africans to get out of their homes and go onto the streets to protest, even to go so far as approach or apprehend individuals that they consider as immigrants in their home country, and ask them to leave by a certain date. This is what I have seen on some of the videos that they've given the ultimatum that by 30th of June 2026, if you are an immigrant without the necessary documentation and you are still found in South Africa, they are at liberty to do with you as they see fit. It's because the government in South Africa itself has done very little to address the situation that people in South Africa are facing. They are facing economic poverty, pressure, the inability to access jobs and a livelihood that they deem well for themselves. They haven't been able to access that. They've pleaded with their government for several years since they obtained, independence and was able to set up their government with the ANC party. They haven't been able to address the disparity in their economic circumstances, especially between the indigenous South African population and European settlers, who are still holding a large amount of their land and their wealth in their pockets up until today. This has not been addressed properly. And so for South Africans to see that migrants are coming from other places and very quickly are able to establish themselves and seem to be living maybe a better life, it's like a trigger for them to say, the little that we have is now being let's say, attacked or being threatened by people from other parts of Africa.
It's the individual. Go ahead.
Seems like it's unfair for them to lash out on individuals because individuals who have gone into South Africa from other African countries are also seeking greener pastures because of similar economic problems in their own countries. So it seems unfair that those individuals should fall victim to the aggression that South Africans are perpetrating on them. However, they are also trying to fight for the little that is left over in their economic situation. So we have to give them the chance to get to where they want to go to, that self-actualization as an economy, as a country, as a people themselves. We have to be able to allow them to do that. The only way that I see that this can, work well is if there's some structure to it. So I've heard some of the leaders of these groups saying that they have a plan. So maybe this is time for the government to sit down with those leaders to sit down and work out what is the plan they have, and if that plan can be implemented safely without having to, attack people physically or attack people on social media. I've seen a lot of videos of people commenting in videos, about why South Africans should be left alone. People should mind their own business so that they can run their country as they see fit. That is entirely up to them. Yeah. So I'm saying that basically, if they have a plan, then the government needs to sit down with these people and work out what the plan is and roll it out in a safe way so that people don't get hurt. The other issue is that these problems are happening in other African countries because we are struggling with our governance in individual countries as well. So I think that's what needs to be addressed. If everybody's home country was doing well, no one will have the need to go out of a country except for if they choose to, and then they will come with a legal means. They will come within the legal means into a different countries and be able to do whatever they see fit. Now, other people are saying that, but there are other people in South Africa. Why are they only attacking the people from other African countries, or so to speak, Black Africans? Why are they only attacking them? Look, it looks to me that looks like they are the weakest link. Everybody else there may have protections from their own countries, but other African countries are not protecting their people that are living in South Africa. I know that Ghana has spoken up against this. Yeah. The Ghanaian government has spoken up against this. But I haven't heard any other country actually speak up against it. I think Nigerian government should do more because it looks like most of the attacks are being perpetrated on Nigerian business owners. So Nigerian government, please come in and say something for your people. Sit down and work it out with the South African officials or leaders of these groups and work out what needs to be done so that your country people or country men and women don't suffer. It's gone so far as, children going to school in South Africa are also being attacked by other students because of these same reasons. Children should not have to face this at all. And that's one thing that I will always stand up against. Children should not have to face, consequences for decisions that their parents have made.
I just disturbing you here. The reason why this thing is coming out now, this revolution to kick out all the Black African in South Africa, the Nigerian people, especially the group of Igbo, I think they choose one of them to be Igwe by Nigeria. I don't know what this means, like a king or something like that. The issue is the king would not king, something like that. That's the beginning of this problem is started in South Africa. That's why the problem is started until today. It's getting worse. Let me just play some a report from Al Jazeera reporters.
This is just one of several demonstrations in recent weeks targeting migrants in South Africa. Thousands of people in Durban, Pretoria, and now Johannesburg say they want more government action to tackle what they say is illegal immigration. Critics say groups like this are simply xenophobic.
Anyone just wakes up in the morning and decides that they're having problems in their own country. Oh, let me look for greener pastures, and it's South Africa. And if we don't say anything about it, or if we say something about it, we're told that it's Black people. This is not a skin color thing. It's about us protecting our country, which is a sovereign state. We love our African brothers and sisters, but it's time now that they also fix their own countries for their own children and their own future.
We're making it very clear to you guys, Utitina, we don't want you here.
In this video widely shared on social media, a man from Ghana is told to go home to fix his country. The Ghanaian High Commission has advised its nationals to close their businesses and keep a low profile, while Nigerian authorities have told citizens to remain indoors. People assembled here blame foreigners for taking their jobs and high levels of crime. In the capital, Pretoria, hundreds of demonstrators demanded action from the government.
It's a legitimate concern being hijacked and used to taint us as a people of South Africa who do not want to live with other people. Because that would not be correct, because that's not who we are.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says the concerns should not lead to xenophobia. He says the government is clamping down on illegal migration and rooting out corruption in the immigration system. The United Nations has condemned the attacks. This is not the first time such protests are seen in South Africa. There were large outbreaks of violence against foreign nationals in 2008, 2015 and 2019. And the same sentiments are being repeated now.
We are saying our borders must be properly managed. And all these people who are undocumented, they need to be sent back to their countries.
Why do they have to come here and have free education, free health care, and while they're telling us that we are xenophobic?
Tensions are rising as more protests are planned. Famida Mala, Al Jazeera.
Yes, thank you very much. Look, there are some question people talk about. They go back to fix your country. This word is very, very rude in another way, because we know we are African. Our country, there's like us people migrant to Europe, Australia, America, something like that. No one come to us to say, "Oh, go back to fix your country." Yes, and at the end of the day, one day we will going back to fix our country because the situation maybe is different. What is your thought? This report, please go ahead.
There's a lot in that report, and we can certainly see the emotional state of South Africans at the moment. They have had it, and that's what they keep expressing to us. They've had it that, things haven't been going well for a long time. They themselves have been under pressure for a long time, and they just want things to start working in their favor. It can't be that after they have come out of apartheid, gone through all this segregation, and just at the moment where they are supposed to be benefiting from the economy and the economic situation in their country, of things, maybe facilities and structures being put in place, then other people are coming to access those benefits. When those countries have had the liberty of maybe independence for 40, 50 years, and they haven't been able to put those structures in place. So that's what South Africans are saying. When it comes to the individual level is where I have a problem with. I don't think individuals should be approached on street corners by other individual South Africans to demand, why are you in this country? And if you are in this country by 30th of June, something could happen to you. I don't think that is a proper way to address it. If they are saying that there are illegal migrants in their country, then the country has border security and protection laws. Those things should be used to, address those problems. People who are undocumented should be given pathways to access the appropriate ways to stay legally in South Africa. And if they can't find those pathways, then they should make deportation facilities available to them so that they may also live peacefully and safely. That is what, me as a migrant in another country, that is what I will expect. If there's anything wrong with my status here in Australia and the government sees that I need to go, I wouldn't want another Australian to approach me on the streets to demand where I'm from and why I'm here and when am I going back, because if a certain day, if I don't go back, then I could face certain consequences. I wouldn't want that because it will put my life at risk. I have young children, they'll be put at risk as well. And that's the last thing I would want for anybody else. So South African government should start putting in place the policies that will help their immigration system to be tightened so that they can root out people that they deem illegal in their country. The other thing is when they are talking about, you know, they love their fellow African brothers and sisters. We need that love. And that's one thing. I have South African friends, and once in a while, you know, we talk about these topics and stuff like that. And what they fear is that if they allow this, then people are just going to influx into their country. But from my end, I also see that, well, this is an opportunity for South Africa to experience the vibrance of different African cultures in South Africa, so that it can be like a global place that people can come and access different parts of Africa right from South Africa without having to go to all the 54 or so different countries. But if that is something that they feel like it's a threat to them at this stage, then we need to give them time. We need to give South Africans the time that they need to be able to process this and assimilate that into their culture, into their economic and political situation, into their social life. If at this stage South Africans don't want a Nigerian chief, then that's their prerogative. They should be allowed to do that and say, actually, no, we don't want you to come here and start forming associations, organizations, and all kinds of chieftaincies. We have our own customs in place, and we want to protect that at this stage. So that's what I will say. But in saying that, I'll also say that if they do that, then they might be missing out on what the rest of Africa can offer them in South Africa.
Yes, that's right, Heidi. Thank you very much for that. Just let us go to talk about the more aggression flooding to Europe, especially from Western Africa, particular. Most young people, rather than stay in Africa, do something. All of them, their dream need to go to abroad. Like I heard some Nigerians say, "I'm going to Babadi Bo." What that's what we need to go to abroad because I want to go to make money to be back to my country, something like that. This dream for any young guy now, then go to this way. What your thought? What do you want to tell them? Because sometimes it's very risk when you go to the Europe by boat in the sea, and it's not safe. Maybe in sometime in winter time or whatever. So a lot of things happen. Some of them is dying as well when to cross the sea. Can you please tell us a little bit about this migration, African youth?
Look, it's the level of desperation that people are facing back home that's making them want to move. I haven't seen anybody that's actually comfortable and doing well, wanting to leave that comfort to go elsewhere, to go and do menial jobs, to make money that they could be making easily at home. People who are running businesses, people who are able to look after their families well, people who are able to access education, healthcare, are not leaving. They're still there. So the difference is that people are struggling back home, and they would rather take the chance to go and find greener pastures rather than stay at home and then not be able to support themselves or their families. And that's very brave. We should commend young people who take it upon themselves. It's a very brave thing to do. Although it's risky, they are willing to, sacrifice the comfort that they have in their own homes, the home countries, to go and seek greener pastures. Some of these people are in positions where they are probably they're young and vibrant in their family and have the strength, possibly a little bit of education, and their family has invested a lot in them. So they have to go out there to go and find something so they can support the rest of the family. Lots of them have, responsibilities that need to be taken care of. If anybody's been abroad, they know that family is back home. I experience it a lot of times. You get phone calls, so and so is happening, this and that person needs help, and all of the time we are having to support people, send remittance back home. That is what these young people want to do. So it falls back on the individual governments of the African countries. If the correct structures are put in place with education systems, directly feeding into the jobs that people are doing, or the jobs that can be available for people. You know, technical skills, vocational skills, things that will help people to make things that they can actually use, not studying theory upon theory that is useless when you're finished work, finished school, and you can't use any of that theory to actually do anything for yourself. Then the next thing you have is to go somewhere so you can use that theory that you've learned to practice in a different place. But if we are studying things that are, you know, technical and vocational, things that can be used straight after you come out of school, I think that will help a lot. And that's what the government possibly needs to focus on.
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of people say that the reason why the lack of leadership in Africa caused this all the huge of immigration, people moving to the Europe, looking for the better life. And also, I saw some ladies with the young kids, little baby, as well. You need to migrate to Italy, something like that. When I saw this pictures, it make me very sad. What the African Union think about the people going like this every day, every week, every time?
Yeah, the African Union is there to you know, help with these sorts of things, but they can't actually prevent individuals from going out and seeking greener pastures. The best they can do is put safety mechanisms in place for people to do this safely. Human beings, as we are explorative. We always want to see what's out there. We want to see if the grass is definitely greener on the other side. You can't stop them. And especially, as you say, with mothers and young mothers with children, we have that responsibility. We cannot sit at home and our children die of hunger. So we have to be out there looking for something. And even if it means that we have to go with the child on our backs, we have to. That's unfortunately the sad reality that we have at this stage. Most African mothers are go-getters. I know from my own line of women that I come from, they are not going to sit at home and wait for things to be done for them by maybe a man that wants to help or might not want to help. They will go out there and seek it for themselves. So I commend.
Understand. It's very dangerous when you take a little child like this. You say, I need to go to Europe to find a better life for myself and my child. This is, I think it's very dangerous. Sometimes it's very risky.
Yeah, as dangerous as it is, sometimes, like I said, it's the level of desperation. That is their last option. So if they don't take it, it's maybe life or death for them in their country. They might sit at home and, you know, starve with their children or have to beg on the street. So if there's an opportunity, somebody, and that's the other thing, there are all these sharks out there that are giving people, let's say, immigration opportunity. If you come, pay me this amount of money and I'll find you a job. There are job opportunities here and there. And then you carry all the savings you have. Maybe this woman and her child, this woman maybe was doing a small trade. She's been able to save a small amount of money, but she wants her revenue or her proceeds to increase faster. So she will carry her savings and give it to somebody who is promising her a brighter future in a different country. So she will do that. And, you know, that person probably does not have the genuine intentions towards them. They go and then they find themselves in different, you know, situation. We've seen that happen with a lot of young girls that have been taken to, you know, parts of the Middle East and found themselves in the kinds of employment that they did not anticipate. They were told that they were going to work in a store as a clerk or in, you know, housekeeping in hotels, and then they end up being put in people's individual homes, private homes, where they are subjected to abuse. And, you know, some people have died of taking their own lives because of the level of abuse that they have faced. Some people are facing, you know, even assault, essay, as in, you know, sexual assault. I'm not sure if you can say that, you know, in people's private homes. So those are things that have come out, especially because now that we have social media, that these things have come out and we've been able to assess that, oh, it's actually not a good thing for people to trust all these sharks that are promising migration opportunities for people. Yeah.
Let's just go very quick short break and then we still continue.
Your happiness, our priority. Feeling good and relaxing. Enjoy your dream with Google Radio, the voice of future.
Yeah, thank you very much. We come back again. This IET, we have a lot of talk show today about immigration crisis. This is a very big topic, We are not politicians, but just this is our view. I think there is more people now watching. We are not politicians. We need to explain some difficult facing our people, especially African. So before we ending, just so we need to talk about the, as you said, the female immigrant, especially for the job, go to Middle East, for example. Some of them go by traffic as well. They bring them, as you said before. I think this behavior is going on and on and on and on. Some lady don't understand. When you explain to them, don't go there, this guy just lied to you. You say, okay, there is good opportunity there. Give money, we need money from you, 1, 2, 3. You can pay this money, we can open for you the way you can go there. So this is the part of the scam as well. And I don't know, as you female, what do you think, immigrant of ladies?
Look, it's a tough choice. If you don't have, I can't speak from that experience because I haven't experienced it myself. Mm-hmm. But for anybody who has been put in a situation like that, I can see, the reason why they would want to go out there and try and make some sort of life out of, themselves, something that they can also do. I really appreciate, and I can, what word can I say, understand why they need to do that, or why they would take that risk. I certainly wouldn't advise young women or any women to just trust anybody just because they say they can offer you. You have to find ways to attest whether the offer that they are making is, the truth, if there's substance to it. These days, you can Google, if somebody is advertising a position overseas, you can Google and see, you can do Google Earth and see what the address is, where the place is, what the place looks like. Type in certain names to see if the people are genuine. See what people are saying online about, there are things that you can look up, reviews. I'm going to such and such country. What does it look like there? What are my job prospects there? You have to do some sort of research these days. And these days, we're all holding a smartphone that you can do a Google search on.
Yeah. So, but some of them don't familiar with Googling things, the situation in Africa, they like you are in the first world now, but there's some people there, you can access it to the Google and do all this stuff. It's very hard for them. What do you think?
I think it's important, even if you can't do the research yourself, ask questions. Mm-hmm. Make sure that as you are going, somebody knows that this person has taken my money on this date. Leave a trail of evidence behind you that this person has taken my money. They said they are taking me here and there. This is their contact details. If you can't find me and you can't reach me on my phone, please contact this person. If they haven't shown you where I am, call the police. Mm-hmm. Let the police handle them, because, what other safety precautions do we have except for, the things that we can do ourselves? Mm-hmm. You have to tell somebody. If you can't do the research yourself, find somebody who has that education to do that research for you, so that you can advise yourself. It means that whilst you're going, you have an educated guess of what the place is going to look like and what the offer that they are making to you is going to, whether it's going to be the truth or not. Apart from that, Look, it's really up to our governments to protect us. I've seen, governments that even in, war situations will go and say, we have to get our people out. They will go to the war-torn country and try and pull their people out. But we have situations where African government, even if, there's a large outcry of people suffering in a different country, they will still stay muted and not talk about the issue at all or do anything to support the people that are suffering. So I think that's something that we always have to lobby our governments to do these things for us, speak up for us, stand up for us, and fight for us.
Yes, absolutely.
For women and young children.
Yeah, thank you very much, Aity, for your talk show today. We're speaking about the African migrant and migrant crisis in Africa. So the migration crisis. So that's very wonderful. I thank you for that. You explain a lot, and then we appreciate. I hope next time we can talk a different topic, because this topic really more attachable for our community. People listen to Google Radio always in podcasts. We need to reflect what is going on about migration. We know the different government in Africa to do so, but there is a lot of things going on, but we don't know to facilitate exactly what is going on there. Once again, thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.
You're most welcome, Simon. Thank you for having me.
From the heart of the world, are you listening and enjoying Google Radio? No matter what, keep your faith and values. Keep your trust and empathy. Google Radio, the voice.